been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
All right, boys, let's get into it. I've been on vacation, but I'm back and ready for some more Hearts of Iron 4 action. So strap yourselves in there. We're going to do some deep Germany testing. I could have done this off stream, but I figured I would do it with you guys because why not? If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it on stream. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be testing Germany's economy. And we're just going to be chilling. So I've got a few scenarios that I'd like to go over. Four-year plan, second versus fourth. So what's better? Getting the bonuses for four-year plan for your second focus tree choice or your fourth focus tree choice? What's the impact of Yalmar in a standard build? So I'll do a build with Yalmar, without Yalmar, and see if he's worth his 75 political power. Free trade versus war economy. I just want to know what they do. How impactful. Like, war economy is going to give you somewhere around 3 or 4 civs that build over time. Free trade is going to give you a host of bonuses. I also wanted to figure out, like, what was better, the attaché to Spain or just taking Joseph Goebbels to get war economy. And how much XP does an attaché to Spain actually net you? So I'll throw in these builds a few, like we'll do some Lend-Lease trade with Spain and see how much XP we get. We'll see how much XP just doing the attaché to Spain. And we'll see if we find anything that's surprising. So the first scenario here, 4-year plan, second versus fourth. What we're going to do is we're just going to build a bunch of civs. And we're going to base, I guess, the success of this build on our civ count in 1939 and see how that's different. Getting 4-year plan second versus fourth. So if you guys aren't familiar with this, the standard pre-no step back Germany build was Rhineland, Army Innovations, Treaty with USSR down to 4-year plan. Well, now you're only buffing a tank chassis. You can create tank destroyers. And you don't necessarily need to upgrade your chassis. You can just outproduce your opponent using the old school chassis, in my opinion. And you don't need Army Innovations because you're not going to get land doctor until later. So you don't go your doctor until like right before war or something like that. So you don't need this. Air Innovations is kind of handy. You get all those air bases. You get the air XP. That's kind of nice, but it's obviously not as good as 4-year plan. So the reason why you delay is to stack the bonuses that you get from 4-year plan, which is 2 times 100x bonuses to industry. You stack those down on Dispersed Industry 3 and Dispersed Industry 4. So we'll see what happens with the civs. I'm sure that it's some sort of like, it's going to be like a sinusoidal like waveform. So like one will benefit you earlier in terms of civ production and one will benefit you later. But overall, which one curves out to give you the most civs? That's what I'm trying to answer today. Oh, and another thing, I've been talking with Cloak on Discord, 71 Cloak, and I can confirm his video about the Sieve Shuffling is 100% correct. He does good videos, he does good work. You should check out his channel. So basically, the Sieve Shuffle does not give you anything because of some sort of rounding error. So if you're not familiar with Sieve Shuffling, you basically, like, this top slot has 15 civs and this bottom slot has 8. So after this top slot was completed, you take the bottom slot, which is partially completed, put it on the top, and then get that civ out quicker. And the theory was that this would snowball, and it does, but on countries with very slow construction times. It doesn't work for Germany because you have like MIFO bills. Your construction is pretty quick. So MIFO bills is going to buff military factory production, including consumer goods factories, which is really buffing civs. But then you get a host of other benefits, and basically what happens is the civs are shotgunning out so fast that by the time you shuffle, you've like lost a day or something. There's some sort of whatever you did like rounds down, and I tested it myself, ran both scenarios where I was sitting here juggling and not juggling, and they were equivalent by 1939. The production was equivalent. Hey, what's up, Anavare? Thanks for the comment on one of my videos. I appreciate that. Afternoon, man. Must be in USA. I think I knew that you're in USA. That attaché nets more XP than 2, maybe 3 military staff. Okay. What's up, Last Roman? Haven't talked to you in a while, brother. Good to see you. Go for 4-year plan second because I thought so far that the extra research slot is worth to get it ASAP. Well, let's try. And we'll do tech juggling as well. So if you're a noob, welcome, Michael. We're just going to focus on building stuff. So like the other thing I want to do is kind of like take off all the production except for like guns. See how many guns we can net out of this whole deal. So we'll go Rhineland first in both of these scenarios. Care about any of that stuff. Care about that. I don't care about that. But the research is going to be a standard build for both of these. I guess we could kind of simplify it, but we're applying bonuses to research slots. So I'll do the research as I normally do. So the first thing we'll do is 4-year plan. Second, we'll see how many civs we get out of that. Sorry, I'm having some lunch. We got a Red Bull and tuna fish. Tuna with pickles. Kind of my standard thing. So since Sieve Shuffling doesn't work, we don't have to worry about this. Just build civs. That'll be all good. We don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna tech juggle here. Now the question is, do I add the 30 days? I've got 30 days that we built up here. I can concentrate it on one of these 3 technologies here. I could add it to electronic mechanical engineering, and then I can add it to basic machine tools. How many more days, though, till I get 4-year plan? Okay, 110. So how's that going to work out? Okay, I'm going to have to apply it to basic machine tools, or else we'll apply the bonus for 4-year plan onto dispersed 1, which would be worse, in my opinion. So we'll apply it to basic machine tools because that way we'll get this below 110 days, and then we can apply the bonus that we get for 4-year plan onto dispersed industry 2. So that's the scenario we're going to work with right now. It really doesn't matter, like, what we go here. Honestly, don't care. So we could just go machine tools, boom. Keep the sim going here. We'll send an attaché to Spain and see what happens. Hey, Pavel, how's it going? Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. I'm really bad at other language pronunciations. So I think we should go free trade here. Just like we would with any other build. And then we'll go 4-year plan. Keep running it. So we get the 2 100x bonus research bonuses to industry. We'll stop focus there. And that whole industrial stuff, it shouldn't be affected by attaché to Spain, because attaché to Spain will only buff war support. And I don't think it's going to buff stability. So this will finish after basic machine tools. And then we will be able to apply the bonus later. Let's hold off on that for a sec. The other thing you have to think about is, like, we're also gonna need to get improved machine tools. Does that affect this at all? It shouldn't, but it'll affect how many guns we're able to put out. Okay, so there's basic machine tools. Dispersed one and improved machine tools. So this already has some days on it. I'm just gonna go with the empty slot for our research purposes here. And then this is just gonna run for a while. No more pausing. What's up, Eamon? Yep, M7. Good to see you, man. It's pretty involved min-maxing. Yes. So that maybe you have an answer to your Germany build if you're playing multiplayer, or if you really want to dominate in single player. This is definitely going to give you a few tips. Okay, so we got 4-year plan. We got the bonuses, and we'll just keep going here. So I'm not going to do any more focuses. I'm not going to go war economy or anything like that. Just free trade. And we'll see how everything comes out here. So you see we have the bonuses here. So we have to wait till this is completed and then go to Dispersed Industry 3. And then we'll see which one gives us more civs. I'm just going to let this go. It doesn't matter. Hey, Yannick. I think it's Yannick. It's probably not Janik, right? You like the testing, huh? Let's try an attaché to Spain. Solamente here. You're gonna have to improve relations till this is up to 20. You can't really improve relations ahead of time. Okay. 5 army XP. And that's from Rhineland. Because there were troop movements into the Rhineland there. And you do get some military XP from that in real life. That does count. So I want to know, attaché to Spain XP. Okay, that's already written down there. So we'll go second civ count. Fourth civ count. So that's fourth focus civ count. And then the attaché to Spain, we'll see how much XP that nets, and we'll run this sim until it's like late 38, we'll say. Well, I'm glad I got your name right, Yannick. And no focus. No more focus. We're just looking at what the industry does, so I'm trying to eliminate all the variables. I would turn off the AI, but I don't think that it matters. I do not see how it matters. Maybe through trade, because you can get civs through trade relations, but I don't think that it alters between builds. So we got dispersed. We should build more civs. So just ignore the officer corps and everything like that. All right, this is pretty cool. We are getting a lot of XP here. So we can actually calculate that out. How much XP we get from one of these army guys compared to Attaché de Spain. So we'll know pretty soon. The Attaché de Spain is going to be variable. And it depends on the fighting that occurs, which is going to be kind of, kind of random. Tell me if the music is too loud. You like building infra in Silesia? Super Idol de Zhaorong. I'm not sure what that means, Rage. Okay, so like 2 more years of building civs here. We'll get the civ count and the date, and then we'll go back and do 4 focuses instead of 2 to get to 4-year plan. If you guys are just joining, civ juggling is kaput. 71 Cloak has proven that it doesn't do much of anything. So I'm no longer going to civ juggle. I think my concentration could be used other places, particularly in MP games. Takes my focus away if I'm constantly juggling and you really don't get anything out of it. It stands to logic that you would, but there's rounding errors, we think, in the construction screen here when you're swapping the civs up and down. And then to Cloak's point, he's saying if you take away, if you move this like up, or I'm sorry, if this one just finished and then you move this up, you're taking away the bonus that you'd receive from the blank one. I don't know, that doesn't work out. So if this civs comes out faster, then I technically have more civs for construction. So we have 32 right now. You'd have 33 for a moment, and that would give you an advantage, supposedly. But for whatever reason, it doesn't work out like that. So don't worry about civ juggling anymore, guys. Using it later, get you construction 3 in early 38 instead of late 38. Hello, Eamon. That's random. Like, random notifications showed up in chat. Like, some of your chats came in later onto my OBS. That's super weird. Like, I swear I didn't miss Eamon and Barry. They just appeared. Okay, so we picked up free trade. That was it. Just got to remember that. We're just testing it head to head. We're not going to do Austria Anschluss. And just to give you a heads up, Yannick, do you already know? Tell me if you already know this, but you wait till they come down and get the sieves and the mills until you take them, ideally. But you're also looking at world tension, because world tension greater than 10% turns on the allies' focus trees. We could test that today too, Will. Thanks for coming, Will. We will test that too. How about that? So does starting off building infrastructure work? I don't think it will. I think that Civ conversions could or could not work depending on what you're looking for. If you're of the opinion that there's really nothing worthwhile to build early game, maybe Civ conversions would work. But you do have war a little earlier, so when you're converting from mills to civs, you have to rebuild that, so that's going to take time. So there is a bit of thought that you have to put into that. Let's look at the civ count. 49, really low. We're not getting Yalmar, we're not getting all the normal stuff though. But this army XP, 26 so far. Get up my calculator. Okay. So if I got one of these guys over here, 0.09 daily. So in a year, you get 32. It's been like a year and we got 25. Yeah. I'm doing that right. Right, guys? That's interesting. Okay, let me put that up. So attaché to Spain is 25 XP per year. Military high command at 0.9, 0.09, right? Is 32 per year. XP per year. So that's good to know. The thing that you get out of Attaché to Spain, though, is you get the ability to go war economy by increasing your war support, but then you also get XP, and it costs you 100 political power, whereas, and I'm just thinking out loud here, guys. If I got one of these experts, it would be 100 political power and it wouldn't hit my war support. I can increase war support another way. I can go. Okay, we got 3. It's fine. Can go Goebbels. And then that will give us 10% war support, but he costs 150. You get daily fascism support, which will increase stability as well. That's the bonus there. But he doesn't give me any XP. So Goebbels gives no XP. And then the military, the army commander, whatever, nets me XP, but no war support. I kind of feel like attaché to Spain is probably the best thing to do. What do you guys think? Yannick, that is correct. So you want, if you're going to build infrastructure, you want to build it in states that are able to build at least like 10 civs, I would say, for every infrastructure. So if you're going to build infrastructure, I would just build one. And then these slots, I would probably build it on an 80 spot, because we're concentrating everything on 80 infrastructure, and I'd probably do it on Moslin because I get 12 steel, because you do get a little capped early on steel. You could do it over here, but you'd have to build like 20 civs, and that's not possible. What if we go in Sunshine? 11. You get aluminum. I'm sorry, aluminium for the UK viewership. Okay, let's rebuild all this stuff since we have Disperse 3. So you get Disperse 3 pretty dang quick. Let's keep chugging along here. Oh, be a little delayed. Not much though, not much. The other thing is, okay, so let's pay attention to this. We always divert bomber production. We got Dispersed Industry 3 in late 37 or something like that. Let me write that down. Okay, I got it on the list here. So we're just gonna kind of wait out till the year's end. Spanish Civil War hasn't been going for a year, so it must increase over time, right? So when did we look at it the first year? It's in July 36 to it was like October 37. We got 25 XP. So now what's it going to be from October to October? Let's see. So in October, we'll check again and see how much army XP we got. Okay, next round we'll do attaché to Japan and China, but that limits the amount of XP. Or I'm sorry, that limits the fact that we can't go to war economy as early. So that's going to hurt our economy. Silesia. They're right here. Niederlichen. Wale. Isn't it over here, Yannick? Like, what the heck? Where is Silesia? Are you talking about here? Obere Yayan? Or you get Sudetenland? Where is it? Sanchin? You like acquire Silesia? I don't think it's an actual province anymore. They reworked the map a little bit. I'm just blind. Okay, we don't get the bomber production anymore. I'm blind. Are you guys talking in like terms of like European? Like, where is it? You gotta help me. The stability from Goebbels because you have increased party popularity, just a thought. Okay, okay. The thing is, I prefer getting stability by going political loyalty. So the stability is going to be like 90% plus. So you're only going to get a few points of stability, which still matters. You get that, all that stuff, political power gain, consumer goods factories go down. Your factory output increases, your dockyard output increases. So that's interesting. It could be better. There's a possibility that the stability is better for sure. Okay, Niederlichen. Okay. You got... Yeah, see, I knew what part of the map. I just wasn't seeing it. I'm not that bad. I am pretty bad at my European geography, but not that bad. I thought that it's like right here, maybe Zwolle area. Anyway. Yes, higher infra increases speed of construction for sure. But to get a ROI, to get a return on investment on that investment of infrastructure, you're going to have to build like 9 or 10 civs in that area. There's a calculation on the wiki. I don't understand it. I'm not like a math genius. That's why I don't even bring it up. But basically, if you look at the wiki, going from 8 to 9 or 80 to 100% infrastructure, yeah, you need to build 8 to 10 slots in a single province is the way it works out. And you're not going to, I doubt that you're going to gain that much time. What happens is you could, so if you guys don't know, you can only build so much in every province. So like in Thurgan, I could build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it dispersed 3 that buffs the building slots. I can do 11 civs in that area. So building an infrastructure here would probably give us a good return on investment. But you have to weigh that, because I could already be building civs in another province that has 80% infrastructure. So I definitely wouldn't buff like 60% infrastructures thinking that I'm going to get that much of a bonus. And this is a Rhineland territory, so this is going, or a Reichsautobahn territory, so this will be buffed by focus tree up to 100% anyways. I'm just building this way for the purposes of this test. That's all. So, okay, so the attaché to Spain is going to give us, so the first year is 25, and now the second year it's even less. We only have like 17. Whereas if we had a military high command person for 2 years, we'd have 62 over 2 years. We only have 42 for the attaché to Spain. So the attaché to Spain not performing well in this playthrough. Like I said, that's semi-random. Well, that's why. This is all wonky. So perhaps Spain got, perhaps we got unlucky. You know, I'm not sure. Let's go till 39. That'll make it nice and easy. Yeah, so my opportunity, let's measure opportunity cost turn 1. I don't have to wait to build an infrastructure here, and I already have enough 80 infrastructure slots to where I'm not going to get capped. Before, you would get capped. So all this fancy building was actually good, building infrastructure, because I would get capped because there weren't as many 80 infrastructure areas. So building up infrastructure was a little better than Civ conversions was a little better than then. Now we can build in basically all day in these 80 infrastructure provinces, and it's no big deal. But by now, I'd already have to like find another province to build in. That would be like 60 in a regular playthrough. Okay, here we go. We're almost to the end. I'm really disappointed in the attaché to Spain. I want to run that again. Because that doesn't... I think we could do better. I think that we got really unlucky. Isn't infrastructure 8 civ mills worth it? I believe so. Going from 80 to 100, it increases. If you get a higher ROI... Oops, let's stop here. Okay, Nationalist Spain ended, and we only got 46 XP. That was underperforming. So if we have a military high command member, we'd still be getting XP because it's not dependent on the Spanish Civil War. So over the long run, military high command nets a vast quantity more XP. Let's look at our civ count. 74. That's what I'm going to write down. So yeah, if you're going from 20 to 40 infrastructure, you only need to build like 3 or 4 civs in that province, and so on and so forth. It goes up. You're absolutely right, Anavare. That's what the wiki says. Civs till mid 37, then synths till Sudeten, then mills. I think it's debatable. The old way was 38, like a year and a half ago. You build civs until January 38. If you got greedy, you'd extend that. Then the new way, it rolled back to like October 37, September 37. You start building mills. Don't build refs till late 38. Maybe a couple refineries. I've never seen anyone build refs till Sudeten. When time is Sudetenland typically finished? That's the question. Because they might transition to building a few refs, like maybe like 3 or 4. Because at that point, if you're trading for rubber, a refinery is basically civilian factories, but you haven't buffed your refinery tech yet. So that's why you wait till 38. Because you need to buff the amount of rubber that gets out of each refinery. And then it's worth it to build refineries over just trading civs for, you know, whatever you need, rubber. Dang, this song is a little aggressive. I like it. I'm gonna turn it down there. Okay, so that was the first run. $74. I didn't make a save, so we're gonna have to go back to the main menu. We'll just start again, it's okay. Okay, this one's gonna go faster. Okay, we get Rhineland. Just build up all those areas. I forgot to check how many guns we got. It's okay. All right, let's run it back. So we're gonna juggle. So this we're going 4th. So I could actually juggle electronic mechanical engineering. And so now we'll do more of a standard multiplayer build. So 4-year plan 4th. And we'll see how many civs we end up with. April, May 38. Yeah, don't build refs till late 38 is what I'm going to go with. M7. We still have this civilian industry guy before Sudaten. It's a 10% buff, but every refinery that I make, I guess, will get buffed later. I don't know. All this is up for debate. That's why we're doing this. So I really am not sure, but I'm just giving you standard kind of knowledge. But standard knowledge was that Sieve Shuffling worked, and that 71 Cloak kind of proved that wrong. Okay, what am I building? You can build whatever. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's cheap, and then put it on to... So this shuffle will be a little different. And then we'll go Rhineland into free trade. Just because free trade buffs the tech here, the tech speed. So I wanted to be that. I wanted that to be consistent. I juggled the research slots, so 30. We got 30 days on this research slot here. I applied it to electronic mechanical engineering. So that took 30 days off of this, or 29, if you want to be precise. So we're stacking the research days on singular research, not spreading it out. That's the way you want to build. You want to look at what high impact things you could do and just go for that. Because I can tell you, like, researching like guns this early, I just did this. This doesn't do anything for you. So it has like almost zero impact. Next thing we're going to juggle is basic machine tools, but I want to pick up free trade here. And then the next focus will go army innovations into tank treaty. Okay, let's check this out. I would train tank converts. So when you convert your infantry division into your tanks, I would train those. Yeah, you could train a little bit. In single player, I don't think it works out that great. Navy, you could do like 5 subs, but you want to make sure that there's no cold water penalty. I believe I was told that it's cold water penalty because that will affect attrition on the subs. See how that went down in 11 days? That was like 44. Something like that. It was 41. I wasn't paying attention. Trying these breathe right strips. I have a breathe right strip on my nose right now because I got pretty bad allergies. Like, been pretty sunny here in Cali, so. Okay. Everything's blooming right now. So if I sound nasally, it's because I am. Okay, we're gonna juggle Dispersed 1 next. Yeah, William, it's a way of concentrating your build, and it's a min-maxer type thing. And it works really well. You can get way ahead. If you're in multiplayer, it's a little harder to do because you're going to be sitting there microing all this stuff, and then you have to do it without a pause. Okay, tank treaty. Okay, so this will get us to Dispersed 2. And then we'll apply the bonuses from 4-year plan to 3 and 4. We'll see how this works. We only went to 39. So if there is a little bit of a difference, I'm going to say that's going to extrapolate into a huge difference when you get a bunch of civs from Poland, Austria, Czechia, France. You're going to get their civs. So the small difference is if we got 74 civs in the last build, if I get like 78 and there's a difference of 4 civs, you know, between the two, that whatever is higher is going to be more impactful. So in this build, you could actually go construction 2. I'm trying to think. I'm not going to do it. I think I messed up. I think instead of machine tools, I could have gone construction 2. So we'll just keep that the same. We can actually juggle this again if we want, but we've already achieved our goal. What is this got? Like 20 days on it, and then that's below 70. Yeah, so we'll just, no more juggling. Leave the other research slots alone. Okay, there's war with Spain. We'll see how much XP we get. Improve relations for a minute till this is 20. Nationalist Spain didn't exist, so we couldn't improve relations before this point. Come on, bam. So we'll stop improving, send attaché. They accepted, okay. You have to remember we have 15 army experience from Rhineland and army innovations. So now we'll go 4-year plan. What? Did they refuse the attaché? The attaché is giving us nothing? What? So we're only concerned with dispersed industry here. And buffing that. The other thing that happens a lot in multiplayer is as soon as dispersed 1 is off, you got to make sure that you hustle and get this before 4-year plan is completed. That'll mess up your build. Okay, so we got dispersed 2 off before 4-year plan. So all the subsequent bonuses will go on later technology that is more expensive. That is the theory behind that one. And thanks for joining me, guys. I know this isn't like the most wildly entertaining content, but I thought you guys would be interested in this live stream since I'd just be doing it on my own. So I might as well hit play on the live stream and then hang out with you guys. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and shoot. So we'll stop focus here. We got 6 army XP from Spain so far. It hasn't been that long though. Okay, Disperse 2 is going off. What am I doing? That was infrastructure, not civs. I was like, wow, I could build a lot of civs. Okay, never mind. It's already done. I'm just being silly. Any of you guys lovers of recon? Do you see my Feedback's video on reconnaissance? He doesn't like the recon companies. It's got good points. He always makes good points. I think that recon companies are worth it for like a major, and definitely if you're playing multiplayer. Stack as many bonuses as you possibly can as long as there's no downside. That's my thing. Yeah, you protest, Spain. Okay, Army XP is ticking up. We got 11. So that first year was 25, the last run through. We'll see what it's going to be this year. So we got 2 more bonuses here. You know what? I can already tell we're going to get less civs out of this because you get dispersed industry quicker by going 4-year plan the other way. The thing is, you'll get dispersed industry 4 less quick. Max factories in state 20%, production efficiency retention 10%, factory output 10%. You can see all the bonuses that you have up here. Construction 1, 10%, free trade 15%. So the bonuses that we are getting from dispersed industry, when it says factory output, that has to be associated with our production screen. There it is, dispersed industry 1, 10%. So I'm able to make more widgets with higher levels of dispersed. It affects this screen in the fact that I can just concentrate my building in the 80% areas. And Uvare, as you said in the comment, huh? Armored recon, defense, they are totally worth it. Michael, thanks for the question. So I would recommend going this template for your infantry. Okay, so you see that bonus is on Disperse 3 now. Okay, for tanks, Michael, Anivare is saying to go armored recon. You could go motorized, or you could go light armored recon. I always went light armored recon because the reconnaissance level is more. Reconnaissance plays into tactics, and are you able to pick, is your general able to pick your tactic second? So it's the general's ability level plus the amount of reconnaissance equals, do I get the initiative, which equals me being able to counter my the opposition general's tactic. Okay, we don't have the other two, but I go Logi. And I think Feedback's last video, he liked maintenance, but I'd probably just go Logi and Flampanzer, and that would be it. So take this, put it anti-air, choose whatever recon you like, Logi and Flampanzer, that would be this at an 18 width level. Yeah, that's still going. Okay, so Spanish Civil War is going to have about 30 this time, so I was correct. We were just unlucky the last time. So we now have, it's been about a year, and we have 30 XP. Which is still less than a military high command. Japan War just went off. It would be nice to test the XP for that. So I'm going to adjust this figure and say we were unlucky and just say it's like 30 XP for the first year. Now, if we put bombers up in that war, I wonder how that affects it as well. If the nationalists kind of melt Spain a little quicker because we have the tax, I usually send tax to Spain. So I guess that would be a better way of testing it. So no artillery because air supremacy is a thing, Michael. And the AA also reduces the amount of CAS that can be active in each attack bubble. I think it reduces it by a max of 30%. So 100 CAS means that only 70 can actually get involved in the battle. So that's a very important concept for you to think about. Artillery does not help with that at all against the enemy CAS. So that's why you typically use it in multiplayer. Green air buffs, so air superiority. The AA helps gain air superiority. It shoots down enemy planes, right? Green air buffs your combat, your division speed, as well as a host of other things. I'm pretty sure you get combat bonuses from green air as well. So those bonuses, along with the cast not able to participate in the battle as much, means that AA is basically the best thing. The other thing is AA raises the piercing value of your division. Therefore, you can pierce enemy tanks, like light tanks, for instance. If you're going up against like mediums or heavies, it's not really going to do much. It's going to buff the heart attack a little bit, but you can get piercing and good stuff against light tanks. So yeah, multi-use tool. And a lot of people studying World War II like didn't know that, but you have 88 flat cannons, or you have flat cannons that are smaller too. Let's look at the technology, because this is historically accurate. One of my viewers credited me with the AA strat, with developing that. I'm not sure that I did. I saw Feedback did it. I can't remember who did it first. But anyway, this 2 centimeter flak is a real life thing. And you can either shoot it up in the sky, and I'm assuming that it had flak, ammo, or you could use it for piercing. So you could have armor piercing ammo. Don't point the gun at the sky, point the gun level and try to pierce a tank with it. That is a thing. Did I just lose my attaché? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're not looking at Army XP anymore. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So this is a multi-use tool that buffs armor piercing. So it can be used against tanks. You can point it in the sky. You can point it at a tank. You can point it at infantry. This, however, is not. Anti-tank cannot do that. There was one recorded instance where a Tiger tank, the Tiger had an 88, so it had one of these guns on it. Probably something like this, a Pac 44, something to that effect. And it shot a plane out of the sky. I think it was a Russian CAS, and that's Otto Carius who made that claim. His gunner, they're kind of sitting right here by Leningrad. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Narva area. They're defending this river, and this plane kept harassing them. They got kind of pissed off, and they took a shot. And yeah, they blew the plane out of the sky. But that's not like widely described anywhere else. And in Hearts of Iron 4, that doesn't work. This only works against ground units and not air. So, all right, Dispersed Industry 3. And then we're applying the bonus to Dispersed Industry 4. And it doesn't look like we're going to research it. So I'm going to assume we get less civs. We get a lot less civs. Interesting. So the counter argument to this is that you can go all blue. What does that mean? That means if I don't build my research in this way, every state will be blue because I built everywhere. Because I don't have a high enough level of concentrated industry. And therefore I can't build anywhere but, like, say, territories that I conquered. So this strategy, delaying the civs, will get you more civs late game, but applying the bonus to Dispersed Industry earlier by getting 4-year plan's second focus looks like at least till 39, like you will gain more civs. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. That effect will be magnified by all the other bonuses that you get that I'm not using, such as War Economy, such as Yalmarschacht. Irish, yeah, you are able to change historical pathways in this game. For instance, Germany, the left side is a historical pathway, and the right side, you get rid of Hitler, you bring back the Kaiser, and you basically become a different type of faction. So as Hitler, you're obviously fascist. You become non-aligned when you bring the Kaiser back, and that's all through this concept of focus trees. You're typically able to get a focused tree every 70 days as you go through time. And then there are different requirements for getting different badges, like military manpower, whatever. You need so many civs, you need so many mills. There'll be certain requirements. World tension needs to spike. World tension is the overall, like, how pissed off are countries. So yeah, this game is highly complex. Beginners have a bad time of it, but then after they play, 50, 100 hours, they start having fun. The more of the experienced players' experience of the game is that the AI is too easy. So a novice player can get overwhelmed, but an experienced player can get kind of bored because the AI is not that robust in battles. What you could do is you could just download the expert AI mod and turn up the difficulty settings for the game, and the game will get a lot more difficult. So I've done that. I have playthroughs where I've done that, and it was great. I love playing expert AI Germany. So state of the art is to use light tanks only. No more medium or tank destroyers. In my last OP Germany build, Michael, I used light tank destroyers, and I put the medium gun on it, and it worked fantastically. So if we go to the tank designer, you change this to a light fixed superstructure, and then you have to change it to a tank destroyer. So you'd have to probably change the cannon. Yeah, that's the artillery one. I don't actually think that we have the right cannon. Heavy machine gun? No, that's not going to be it. Small cannon? Anyway, you change it to a tank destroyer with the fixed superstructure hull. So you're basically making like a martyr. Historically is what it was called. See if we got one. Like a Nashorn. So Westby. Ostwind. So where's our martyr? Did I miss it? What the heck? Anyway, it's an open top vehicle with armor kind of around the gun there. And you could turn your tank into tank destroyer, and then you apply... Let's see here. You put the medium cannon on it. This one, the medium cannon 2. So it's going to be more expensive for these resources. But hard attack is 20. Soft attack is 32. So way better than what you're dealing with. Like, what's this? Small cannon 6. Hard attack 10. Soft attack. You're more than doubling that in certain categories. So, yeah. Take a look at what gun you need to build into, and then build your chassis around it. Because it's going to be a lot more dependent on your firepower. The firepower of the tank is going to determine, is going to be the best stat to pay attention to when you're building your tank. Is increasing your soft and hard attack. Your piercing capability will go up as long as you're using one of the guns that you find over here under anti-tank, because it gets buffed as you do this research, as you can see here. If you're building tank destroyers, you get the heart attack 10% and the piercing 10%, those upgrades. So it's quite good. Okay. Civ count 71. Let's think about this. I don't know why I made this so small for you guys. So I think 71 Cloak told me that you get Disperse 2, I think it is, like 100, or Disperse 3, maybe it was 120 days behind. If you go 4-year plan second, so that's going to delay this by maybe 120 days, getting Dispersed Industry 4. Remember, it's you don't want to go blue. Dispersed Industry opens up building slots in provinces. So we've got a 3 civ count difference. And this is building civs till 39. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know how impactful this is to go 4-year plan second. It definitely, if you go 4-year plan fourth, it opens up your building slots for Germany, which is going to be very worth later after you've done the Battle of France and you've got a ton of civs. If we're talking about a difference of 3 civs, if we rolled it back to 38 when you're making your transition from building civs to mills, I probably should have looked at that. The difference would probably only be a couple civs. Now, of course, this effect will be magnified because we'll be churning out civs quicker. So maybe I didn't do a good test of this, but It seems fairly low impact to me to go 4-year plan second. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not sure. Let's do another playthrough and let's see Attaché to Japan. Let's check that out. I don't know, the problem with this, it'll be interesting to know, but the problem with this is it doesn't buff war support early enough for me to get the bonuses that I get from war industry, war economy. So I'd be interested to see how much XP we get, but that's about it. I don't think I'd be using it. Anavar is the minor nation guy. Thanks, NDL. Appreciate it. Medieval. I'll make it easier for you. You probably only need to do Railroad Tycoon going up to the Barb front. And then all you have to do is go under the supply map mode. I'm sorry. There. Upgrade bottlenecks. I haven't quite got that down. So you click on the hubs. Don't ever build supply hubs. Build ports if you need to build something like that. But you literally just upgrade bottlenecks moving up to the front. That button right there. So you click on the supply hub, upgrade bottlenecks. It'll do all the construction for you. So it looks like it's going to put 4 railroads there. So when you're snaking through Barb here, you see all these hubs. You're basically just like clicking on each hub, and that's how you micro it. It'll be a lot quicker. And you start having problems when there's very sparse railroads when you reach the Urals out here. So that's all you want to do is click on the supply hub and upgrade infrastructure. And once we're going Barb, like, I feel like it's just a game of maintaining the infrastructure that you have and making the infrastructure more robust, because this game is now a battle versus the red jerry can. If you never see the red jerry can, you're going to do really well in this game. If you see a yellow jerry can, not as well. If you see the red jerry can, you're not going to be able to perform in combat whatsoever. Like, your combat capabilities are nil. So you need to stop the game and figure out what you're doing if you're seeing red jerry cans, because you either have too many troops on the front, you either need to upgrade your infrastructure was bombed, you don't have logistics companies inside of your tanks or whatever, your normal divisions, whatever it may be. It's all about supply nowadays. Do you play Railroad Tycoon Medieval? Okay, I'm going to do a standard build here, and then we'll see with and without Yalmar, like, kind of, what is Yalmar's impact? I am curious. Okay, so we got that. Okay, we'll leave the Rhineland areas open. All right, let's go. Should we go Borman or no Borman? I feel like no Borman is better. Let's just go free trade into Yalmar slash, because that buffs Yalmar. You could get him a lot quicker if you don't go Borman. And someone asked in chat, like, I wouldn't be overly concerned with the bonuses on Yalmar. That's why I'm doing this. So I think I'm skeptical to see if Yalmar is that impactful. What is he worth? A Civ? 2 Civs? He only buffs Civs and refs. And by the time we're building refs, he's gone. If you could save that 75 political power, because Yalmar is worth like 2 Civs or something. That's highly impactful. We could get more army XP. I like this song. It's a funky song. Oh man. I hope you guys are having a good day out there. I've been kind of, I don't know, I got in a little funk after the war with Ukraine, man. I was so sad, man. It made me sad. But I'm getting out of it. The Ukrainians are doing well. Looks like they're gonna win. And, that'd be awesome. Like to see them maintain their country. Really cool bunch of people. Okay. So I'm going to go under the interpretation that 4-year plan 4th is best. Okay, we'll do another juggle here. Sorry I haven't been streaming so much, guys. I just got back from vacation. So basically took a week off for vacation. And now we're trying to get back in the swing of things. Okay, so we're gonna swap basic machine tools. You're taking a loan out to improve your home, dude? Tilly Maxos, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thanks for joining, man. How's it going, dude? Anavare, what are you doing to your house, bro? What are you doing? I'm curious. You talking about personal finance stuff? I love talking about personal finance. It's one of my favorite topics. Okay, war with Spain will be next. Thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. Bro, Anivare. The solar? I kid you not. They maybe worked 4 hours I got a solar upgrade. When they first I upgraded twice. So when they first put it in the system, it took like 2 days. But like I said, like throw on 10 more panels. That took them like 4 hours, dude. And they changed out the inverter. And now we're basically solar powered. All this stuff with gasoline is kaput. I haven't paid for gas in like 2 years. The electricity comes from the sun and goes into my Tesla. And then I drive around. No gas. No gas. If you do have a gas car, man, I would consider upgrading to solar and getting an EV. You save a lot of money over time. It's pretty cool. I like it. Okay, what are we doing? We're juggling. It shouldn't matter. If it's a 1960s home, it should not matter. Oh, you're playing USSR with expert AI? That, dude, it's gonna be a lot of fun. 30 panels. That's it, you know, for 2022. That's big, dude. That's a lot. That would be bigger than my system. I think I only have 20 panels, but the first system was rated like way less because the technology has improved. So every panel outputs more and more electricity nowadays than it did when I got my first system. So I got like 20 panels. I could put up another 10 easy. I would love that because I do have an electric bill now because I'm running a sauna and a jacuzzi now. And then since I'm running those, I have a bill for sure. The premise of this run, I want to see what Yalmar Shack does. So he is a guy that you get after... what do you need? 4-year plan. You need 4-year plan, then you get Yalmar. And like, what is the impact of getting Yalmar? So he gives me infrastructure speed, civilian factory speed. What does that translate into? How many civs? Because mainly you get him in this build for civs. You could use this in MP, you could use this in SP. Okay, I can do another political power buy. We're gonna hold PP for war economy. Yes, I do know I said hold PP. Did I just screw that up? 30, 30. I think I wasn't paying attention and I didn't apply the next focus, so we might be a little behind. So you could go construction 2 if you get 4-year plan 4th as well. So that's another bonus for that strategy. Yeah, I got a ice car as well. I wouldn't worry about getting rid of your Jeep, because you're always going to be able to joyride it and stuff like that. It's always going to be fun. You don't have to use your Jeep to like commute every day in, but it would be nice to like have a vehicle that has like a specific purpose. That's the way I look at it. Okay, so this should raise our war support. So now that we can go war economy, which I'll go right off the bat, and then we'll get Yalmar after I get 4-year plan. Yeah, that's what they did with my old panels. They put inverters on each one, and that controls the flow of electricity, which I'm not good with. I don't know much about it, but apparently, so they're micro inverters. So basically, you have a micro inverter on every panel, and that increases output somehow through magical engineering. Okay, so this will end, and then we'll go disperse 2. We don't need to research anything else, really. You're moving to Alaska? Well, you obviously don't live in Alaska. Are you gonna be like, one of those, like, fishermen? The deadliest catch? Okay, we get dispersed industry 2. We could swap it onto this, technically. I won't do it, though. And then for your plan, bonus will be applied to dispersed industry 3 and 4. So we should be good there. And then we have enough political power to just get Yalmar right off the bat. No Borman. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it does sound very dangerous, thus the title Deadliest Catch. You're going from Florida to Alaska. You might have a bit of a culture shock, dude. Good luck with that one, man. Okay, so we're done there, but we can get Yalmar. So we have 38 civs. And it's October 20th. And then we'll see how many civs we get before we have to take him off. Okay, so our economy is looking like pretty studly right now. Hey, Turret Life, how's it going, man? Oh, are you going for the military, huh? You're from Colorado? Yeah, I don't really enjoy the heat and humidity either. Over 1 month. Yeah. We're just doing basic research. We're just looking at if Yalmar Shacht works or not. We're not doing anything crazy. I just want to buff dispersed industry here, construction 2, and I want to see what Yalmar is worth. What is his worth? Is he worth anything or is he worth less? I bet you he's worthless. So we're getting a bonus of 10% construction speed to our civilian factories. Okay, our autarky's done. So by the time we get the extra research slot, it should be time to go Anschluss. Oh, I forgot about that aspect. What am I doing? Okay, take this off. Let's do this instead. Can turn a lot more of these out and then just convert them to a different whatever. Okay, so far Spanish Civil War has given us like 15 army XP. Just do Cass. Cass is love. Cass is life. You like doing civs early? Then you must play historically. Because that's the only reason why I go civs, is if we're going to start war in October 39. Okay, Hermann Goering work. Here's KDF Wagen. Very unimpressive, the amount of XP that you get from Spain War. Soccer World, how do you counter Cass? What strategies do you employ to counter Cass? If you're in a multiplayer game, because I think the AI builds AA now in the base game of Hearts of Iron 4, but it didn't before. So we're gonna stop this simulation. Yalmar does nothing for mills. So whenever we decide to go mills, that's when we'll stop this test and we'll start over without Yalmar. Okay, extra research slot. You just change these guys to this. Do an area defense order so that they're not attritioning because they're the stacking. Something like that. Okay, almost done with extra research slot. And then the next should be Anschluss. Okay, we have enough in the field to qualify for Anschluss. And then China War should happen here any minute, and that'll spike world tension. It's always good to take a look at Austria, as I said before, and go into the focus if you can to see. We didn't build a spy agency. There's Japan War. So we have world tension spike. It's 9%. So for those of you that don't know, you go Rhineland first to spike world tension by 5 because that will decrease over time. It'll degenerate. Allied focus tree turns on after 10%. So you want to get that world tension spike out of the way early. So then it decreases and you get political power to go free trade. You should go for all the 80 infrastructure. So you should do exactly what I'm doing here. And then save the Rhineland spots to build your refineries. Now, later we'll try doing things like Civ conversions and we'll test infrastructure as well. We'll see how all that stuff works. But essentially, Yalmar's days are numbered here because after we go Anschluss, we're going to start building mills. And then the bonuses that we receive from him won't matter anymore. September or October is typically when we make this transition. I think it would be a good thing to do after Anschluss. So as we get Anschluss, we'll count up the civs and then we'll rerun this. If you guys want to see what we're doing so far, just pause right here. 4-year plan early versus late. There was a a Civ difference of 3, assuming that you're going to be doing Civs until January 1st, 39, I believe it was. Okay, so we got Anschluss. Make sure it turned black there, and we have 79 civilian factories in our first playthrough here. So it went from 38 to 79. Now let's try to reproduce this. We're kind of doing like parallel things here. So I could do this on my own, but we're testing for videos from guides that I'm going to be doing. And we're also having a live stream at the same time. So just kick back, relax. We're just chilling here. We're not doing any exciting type of content where we're making tank encirclements and going crazy. Having monkey throwing contests, etc. We're not doing that today. So now we'll do it without Yelmar. Okay, Rhineland, and we'll juggle. Here we go. I would suggest counting partially completed civs as fractions if you finish them, not change them, not cancel them. I'm not entirely sure what you mean there. Are you alluding to civ juggling? Because I can address that. Civ juggling doesn't work. 71 Cloak proved that was the case. There's some sort of rounding error that occurs in Hearts of Iron 4. Okay, so what do I use the 75 political power on? That's going to be the big question here. We're obviously going to go free trade and we'll go war economy, but can I go Goebbels? Because I don't waste 75 political power on Yalmar? Maybe you go Goebbels war economy? Is that going to be possible? If you ignore the XP that you're going to get from Spain, which is going to be about 45, 50. It's good XP though. Okay, so there's free trade. Okay, we got electronic mechanical, and then we'll juggle basic machine tools. If you have a Civ 90% complete on the date you took the count, you would finish the last 10%, not cancel it. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So you're talking about fractions. I think it'll be pretty apparent. I see what you mean, though. Yeah, that could be impactful. We'll just take whole civs, though. We'll just do whole numbers and extrapolate the data from there. Okay, juggle one more time. We'll juggle dispersed industry. 1. Telemaxos, you lived on an island your whole life? Okay, so if I went Goebbels, that's going to be 150 political power and 10% war support. That would give me the capabilities of getting war economy. So Spain war will kick off here soon. So 71 Cloak tells me you can get ahead 1 or 2 civs by doing it diligently, perfectly, by like 38, but then because of rounding errors or something, by 40, it goes back to like no difference. So to me, that's a 0 impact. Because I could pay attention to something else and do better in a different category. That's the way I think about it. So yeah, basically, in my opinion, it does nothing. I'm with 71 Cloak on this. I really like his channel. Check him out. He does like all the testing. I'm not so fastidious about my testing. I don't do graphs and all this other stuff and turn off the AI and stuff like that because I'm not entirely sure that it matters. I just like quick and dirty rules and maxims and things like that to go by, and then from there you could drill down about like what you want to do, what goals you have, etc., when you have this kind of generalized overview of the game. Okay, so if I go Goebbels, I have to wait. Okay, let's just send that attaché then. I guess I have to wait anyways. Interesting. So I could go Goebbels now. How many days would that be though? It probably wouldn't be that many days. I don't have to improve relations. Let's go with Goebbels and see. So now we have enough war support. We're not touching Spain whatsoever. Which, remember, now you get milled. They mill you political power when you send attaché places. That's something to consider as well. So in this build, we won't do this, and we'll see what the difference between getting Yalmar or not. And the other thing to consider is that our fascism support is going up, and we don't have a lot. I mean, we have a lot. We have 60% fascism support, but that will increase, and that will hit our stability higher, which will give us further increases. Instead of, so this gives you less XP, army XP, more stability. Humidity, heat, and drought. Sounds like you're in the middle of the Mediterranean. Yeah, the other thing I'd like to test is if Civ conversions work or not. Converting mills to Civs, that is. Okay, so we're gonna get this in 200 days. We essentially have to wait till we get Anschluss out. Okay, so we're gonna get 4-year plan, but not use it. All right, we'll keep on racing along here. I don't really care about any of the slots except for dispersed industry. Let's quickly build this back. Happy Friday, guys. It's gonna be a good weekend. I might go surfing. Not sure yet. There's a huge swell. I don't know if any of you guys surf. Typically, no one surfs that watches my channel. Absolutely no one. And I'm a big surfer. I have like 10 surfboards. I think I have my boards posted, my boardroom. I have a boardroom with like surfboards going up the wall and everything like that. But anyway, like Jamie O'Brien's channel is great, and the swell that they get in Hawaii is a lot of swell that we get around here. And anyway, it was really big swell in Hawaii. In his last few videos, Jamie O'Brien just have like massive waves. It's him riding massive waves. It's pretty interesting. You should check that out. Yeah, I really like watching Jamie O'Brien's channel. I've gotten into some heavy stuff in my day too, where it's like 15-foot Hawaiian, probably the max I've ever been in. Probably been in the water with a 20-foot wave, but never rode one. There was one wave that I did ride that could potentially have been a 20-foot, but I'm not out there with like a measuring stick. But I just remember dropping in and like looking up, and there's like another like 10 feet above me, you know? So like, and I'm average of height, so it had to have been at least 15 feet, so. But I like that stuff. I like getting the cold water. Water's really cold around here. Downside is there's great white sharks, but they don't bother me typically. What type of diving do you do? Do you like doing snorkeling? Are you talking about springboard diving? You talking about what type of diving? The silly English language does not delineate such things. Diving means like 20 things. Okay, I'm just double checking myself. We got to hold strong here. Get prepared for Anschluss. See how much they attrition when they stack up like that? I hate that attrition notification, that sound. I don't even know what it is. Sounds like something cycling or something. Just go here. That should give us enough manpower for Anschluss. I'm still curious. Any surfers in chat? Be good. Let's see here. What's Anschluss requirement? 550? 500. Okay, we meet that. Spain War is going on without us. We're not doing anything down there right now. Stability is 84%, so I think it's usually 82. So there's a few of these stats that are a little higher, like consumer good factories are probably 0.2 higher. Political power is probably a percentage higher. The factory output is like 0.6 higher. So those are things to consider going Goebbels instead of attaché to Spain. Recreational scuba diving? Scuba? What did I just say? Make your army of only tanks. Rosalba, I think you commented, Rosalba, on one of my videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. On Novare, skiing, hiking, whitewater rafting, and rock climbing. Well, where you're going, my friend, you're going to have all that. You didn't have that in Florida. Isn't it pretty flat? You couldn't do rock climbing, skiing. You could hike. Maybe there's whitewater rafting in like a swamp. Probably not. You're probably talking about the good old days when you lived in Colorado, huh? An engine running out of gas? Is that what it is? I mean, it could be, Todd. it 100% could be. But I've never like had an engine. I've never had a car run out of gas before. And like I said, I only have one gas vehicle and I barely ever use it. Just use it on long trips. So these concepts are lost on me. Any Tesla fans in chat? Trying to find commonalities with you guys. Dude, Colorado looks so cool to like live there. I've got family and friends that live there. The only downside is those fires that hit in like the middle of winter. I don't know if you guys know, but there's devastating Colorado fires in the middle of winter, which is like super surprising. I think there was like, wasn't snow on the ground for some reason. They were in between snow. And that seems pretty scary, but everything else that you could do in California seems really nice, or Colorado seems really cool. I went down to Costa Rica one time and I was off-roading in one of those little Isuzu. Like, I know you have a Jeep on Avare, but it was like an Isuzu, like Ninja. It wasn't really, it was one of the other ones, but it was like the old school Ninja car. And that thing was so sweet. 4-cylinder, all-wheel, or no, it was 4-wheel drive. Was it 4-wheel? No, I'm pretty sure it was all-wheel. You think you're in like a little Matchbox car or something. Like, it is so small, but it's so handy. I don't know, it was just a lot of fun going off-road down there in Costa Rica. Because you're like, you could get in the middle of nowhere real quick. Like, there's no one for miles. Sure, Colorado's the same. Okay, what am I forgetting to do here, guys? Okay, we have only to go Anschluss, and then we'll see the effect of Yalmar versus this build that we're doing here. So the other thing, let's go Anschluss because China War. So Yalmar gives you the bonus to refineries, but he's going to fall off because you're going to finish Fate of Czechoslovakia by the time you're ready to build refineries. So he's only good for the civs, and that's why I'm testing it this way. If you disagree, there's probably a better way of testing this 100%. Please tell me, because I want to know. Just telling me that I'm wrong about something without giving me contrary evidence does not help me. I am trying to find the best way of playing the game, just like you. I am curious about what the best way is, not my way, but what is the best way. I am sure that I'm not playing the game the best way. I am 100% positive, but I am also sure that all the other players aren't playing the best way either. So together we could figure it out. Yeah, only economy testing. Help the China? We're just going to leave it alone for this one. Okay, let's continue. Turn Poland into a giant synthetic rubber area. I like to stay out of Poland because we get collabs on France. So I build in France because the resistance is lighter there. Therefore, like the chance of something getting destroyed is less. So after we do conquests, I build out into France once Germany turns blue. Okay, let's wait a few days, make sure we got all the civs. 79. What? Oh. What? Guys. It makes no difference to get Yalmar or not. Are you kidding me? I've been doing Yalmar for so long. What? September 21st or something? So if he is impactful, so there's a month difference here because I probably screwed up, but it's going to be equivalent, right? And I don't think that fractional sieves matter. I'm pretty sure we went, I didn't count how many we came from, but it was 79 or 79. So say I screwed something up. I think the build was exactly the same, except I let a focus tree like go over for 30 days or something. I'm thinking. I don't think that would make that big of a difference. Like maybe you're talking about a sieve. Maybe. Or maybe you're not. I would rather take the political power, turn it into Goebbels, and get the extra stability. Look at my stability right now. It's 90%. I wonder what stability is in a normal case without Goebbels. I don't think it matters, dude. It seems to me like stability would normally be 90%. Maybe it would only be 88. But that stability is also going up over time. Remember, the fascist level is 60. Now it's 60. Oh boy, excuse me. Now it's 67. That increases stability right there. Ruling party popularity, 10%. So that will go up. Yalmar is useless if you build civs starting in September, October 37. If that's if you transition from civs to mills. And then we're out, what, 30? Well, how much was it? So because we didn't send the attaché to Spain, we're up 100 political power there. We're up 75 political power by not going Yalmar for a net of 25 because Goebbels cost 150. So you net increase political power by 25. You could probably ignore Bormann like we did here. Okay, what else? What are the other advantages? Okay, how much did we lose? So 45 XP. We probably lost 45 XP, but we have 25 more political power that we could turn into. Let's see here. So we could turn in that 25 political power earlier, probably like a month earlier, I'm saying, into like Halder, and then we get 0.09 army experience daily, but for the rest of the time we play Germany, instead of attaché to Spain, which then falls off when the Spanish Civil War ends. This is the way I'm playing now. I'm not going to build Yalmar. I am not going to send attaché to Spain, but I'm curious about attaché to China. And that all matters in who's playing Japan. Are they going to do a quick China? Like, are you in a multiplayer game or are you in an AI game? What if Japan never conquers China? You could grind XP for a long time. Maybe attaché to China is better. Maybe just filling up your army command faster is better. You tried thinking of the old ways, Till Maxos? Quality over quantity? Yeah. You could definitely go quantity depending on your which doctrine. You could go quantity with mass assault very easily. You could go quality with mobile warfare. Rosalba, you're like focused on that. It's just a test, man. It's just a test. XP from lend-leasing guns is not that effective. Agreed. That we should test that out too. Gun lend-lease. See here. Okay, so I think Yalmar is defunct. I don't think he's worth it. I don't think... How about... I don't think free trade versus war economy matters anymore. Because there's not going to be... War economy is not going to be an option until you get the Spanish Civil War anyways. So you have to get free trade. So let's go guns to China war. And attaché to China war. I'm curious how much XP that would net. Let's get back in game. Dude, world conquest with communist China. Is that possible? Dude, you would have a free war against Japan and China. Non-communist China, that is. I think you're just baiting me, Rosalba. You're just baiting me, bro. How much difference does Yalmar make over year? Apparently none. 0. So I'm just saying that because I'm so upset that I've been building Yalmar for so long. But, okay, it's either a fraction of a civ or a civ. From that test, I will guarantee you, Yalmar, if you start building mills in October 37, if that's your play, then you're talking Yalmar will net you a fraction of a civ or a civ at best. I don't think that's worth it. I'll take the political power. As I said, 5,000 guns will be 1015 XP. Let's test it out. Okay, so we already went attaché versus Goebbels, and I calculated this. And the answer is Goebbels without Yalmar nets 25 political power and stability that is unknown. We don't know how much stability that is. Let's do some crazy stuff. Let's start lend leasing. I won't go any focus. We'll go nothing. We'll just build guns and we'll send guns places. How about that? Because that's the best way of getting XP, right? We'll build some support equipment. We'll go no focus. We won't send anyone, so I could delete my army. Can I do that? Yes, I believe I can. So if we start lend lease once 5,000 guns to Ethiopia, and then keep it going here monthly. We'll give support equipment. It used to be where you could continue to get XP because this stayed on. I think they fixed that where the lend lease falls off. So we could test that as well. And then just roll with it and we're just going to give guns to people and see what the effect is. We're not going to touch anything else. So Ethiopia War is happening and they're getting our 5,000 guns and using them in battle. Therefore, that should net army experience. Having your tanks not get pierced is going to cost you a lot in armor. So I think it's going to cost you a lot of IC, and the fact that your IC cost goes up, your speed goes down. I think the current meta is to build a cheap tank, maybe even a tank destroyer, spam that out, put a big ass gun on it. So you're making glass cannons. You will get pierced, but your hardness will be up to a certain rate where you're going to do really well against infantry. The most abundant division on any battlefield is going to be infantry. And you're mainly looking for an infantry killer that doesn't waste a lot of supply. I think that that's better. That can also handle tanks. Boys, we got 0.06 experience for 5,000 guns. Wow. This is so underwhelming. It's like... Okay. Yeah, 0.12. Don't give guns to Ethiopia War. We're gonna say that right there. So now we're waiting for Spain. I'm just writing this down. We used to give like 10k guns to Spain. I'll give 10k guns to Spain and see. I mean, we're obviously not giving guns to Ethiopia, to Italy, to use in the Ethiopia War. You can give guns to Ethiopia if you want. You didn't like feedback's the last video? I saw that he had made that. I didn't look at it. It looked like he was suggesting that a template with modern tanks would have been better, and it had rocket support artillery. That was just looking at the thumbnail there. Well, Biscuit, you did say, speaking of trash, so yeah, that was a little harsh, but it's okay. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Astro Boy? I don't know anything about Astro Boy. Isn't like 100 armor the point at which non-AT infantry can pierce late game? Non-AT infantry can't pierce 100? No, light tanks won't get pierced. Like at the start of the game. AT infantry probably wouldn't be able to pierce like until Barb. 100 armor. But I don't know, the point is you shouldn't have to worry about that because I don't know, I don't build AT infantry. I just look at it as a tank v tank situation. You know, that being said, you've got a bunch of Ukrainians right now that are taking out tanks with rockets like it's freaking a knife through butter. So maybe I should consider that. I don't know. They have no air superiority, and they're literally using World War II technology. Obviously way better and advanced, but still, it's a frickin' shape charge rocket. It's taking a tank on. It's the same concept. It's not that different. It's not direct fire though. The Javelin can do indirect. Actually, it has two modes where you could go direct fire, you could go indirect fire so that the projectile hits the top of the cupola of the tank. So the top of the turret rather, and which has less armor if you're coming in from the top. And then if you see all the boxes on the, shoot. If you see all the boxes, the Russians have reactive armor. Images. So there's these boxes right here. So as the projectile comes in, it explodes into the projectile. These are for flares, these little tubes here. And you'll see this even more on the hull as well. This is probably an early version of the technology that I am talking to you about. But yeah, the Javelin could just come in straight from the top. And then even with the reactive armor exploding against it, it'll still pierce. And then this is interesting. They have these cages above. Oops. What is this? I kind of want to watch this.
It's a 13-hour.
I'll spare you the ad though. Oh, it's from Spookston. Let's send some guns over here. I'm gonna go 10K. Because you can easily make up 10K guns. It's not a big deal. Okay, so back to feedback though. I do not want you guys to give feedback a hard time because I think he's doing a good job. And I'll tell you why. He's literally said in some of his videos that he's just, you know, trying to figure things out. So if he comes out with a video and it's wrong, it's okay. He can always like correct himself like I do. But yeah, feedback's starting to delve into other topics and stuff. I like it. He's taking it on. He might not be 100% correct, but at least he's thinking it through. I like that. Okay, around November 2021, Russian main battle tanks began to show up with odd cage add-on structures attached to their turrets. They were very reminiscent of slat armor, and though ramshackle in their construction appeared to be too complex for an umbrella frame, some sources have claimed that these cope cages are designed to stop attack munitions, especially the FGM-148 Javelin and NLAW anti-tank missiles, even if that is their true purpose, which is extremely doubtful. They don't seem to be working that well. Yeah, I would agree. And the other thing that's interesting, so this one doesn't have a cage on the top of this tank here. So I don't think the cages do anything. Like Schertzen doesn't do much either, for instance. Because the shaped charge will go straight through that and the thing behind it. Doesn't matter. But the interesting thing about some of the Russian tanks is you see this V. This is medieval armor technology. And I used to watch medieval channels that would test medieval armor. And there are historical examples of this showing up right under the neck of knight's armor. And the reason that they suppose that is because the projectile, speaking of medieval times, is an arrow, hits the armor, gets deflected up, and where does it deflect into? Your neck, killing you. Okay, if you have a strip of armor right here, it deflects the projectile away from your face and neck area, saving you. So that is why I believe they have this here on the front glacis of the Russian tanks. So if a shell is deflected up, it won't hit the turret, potentially damaging something on the turret. I don't know. You name it, whatever it is. Perhaps the reactive armor goes off, which you don't want to waste. Perhaps there's optics that could be damaged. Perhaps your primary weapon could be damaged by a projectile hitting it after it bounces off the front glacis. So I thought that was interesting, and this probably works. But the big thing on top of the cage, I don't think that does anything. I really don't. But that's just my opinion. I don't know that for sure. Okay, so let's get this running. I want to see attaché to China. We just sent 10K guns to Spanish Civil War. See how it works. Telemaxos, yeah, that armor, that is huge buffs, but you're still, it's a big trade-off, man. to get to 100 armor, and you will still get pierced if your opponent builds their anti-tank properly. You can pierce 100 armor. You can definitely do that. See the ratings here. Just like raw ratings don't really make too much sense because it's not in the middle of a division template. But, you know, each level of this gives you... This is why you build TDs, so that your opponent can't build 100 armor and just not get pierced. But look at the heart attack of these anti-tank weapons get buffed. The heart attack and piercing of these types of vehicles gets buffed. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Maybe it's 4. It's 4 times. Each one of these is a buff to one of those types of weapons. And then when you get up to this gun, your piercing is 125 with all the bonuses that you received before that to piercing. So it's going to be a massive number. Like, you will get pierced no matter how much armor you provide. And the Russian tanks is a perfect example. Every battlefield has had a way of piercing a tank. There's not been an impenetrable tank that exists. So if you can't pierce it from the front, you can pierce it from the top of the side. Most notably, there's an example from Richard Fryer von Rosen. Pull him up so you get a visual. He was a... Oh God, I forgot. I think he was a Panzer IV, and then he was a King Tiger tank driver. If you've seen these propaganda films, that's him. If you've seen that, you've seen this film. That's him. So he went from Panzer IV to Tiger. His Tiger got blew up on D-Day to... He was defending the Eastern Front with King Tigers. This bad boy right here did not get pierced. He did get pierced on the side, though. But they hit him dozens of times in the front, and that was not pierced. And he got pierced from a shot from the side that took out the engine when he was in Hungary at the end of the war. It's a good read. Panzer Ace, that's his deal. Okay, so far this is fairly depressing. We have 1 XP. 10,000 guns for 1 XP. Okay, Lend-Lease doesn't work anymore. Where are we getting the XP from? Does it tell us? Doesn't really tell us. That's pretty depressing. Okay, we got 2 XP. But yeah, check out Richard Fryer von Rosen's book. And another example for you. The German tanks, the majority of them, could not pierce French armor in the Battle of France when they were going through here. It could not. How do they win? How do they drive from Luxembourg to Nord-Pas-de-Calais if they could not pierce the opponent's tanks? Most notably at Arras. The answer is concentration of CAS. So whoever was like the CAS simp earlier in chat, yes, you are correct. CAS. You can find a way. You can find a way of piercing something. Oh, Marshall's here. Nothing much, man. We're just testing. I'm waiting for China War right now. We got 10,000 guns to Spain. It looks like it gave us like 4 XP. I guess I don't know. It's probably insignificant. It's probably not worth it whatsoever. Let me catch up with chat. The 72 division tactic still works? Okay. In what way, Rosalba? Light tank recon adds armor. It also gives you something to do with light tanks. I don't know. You've gotten me sold in certain builds. If we're playing historically, yeah, Innovare. I'll just say you're right. Yeah, you should use it. And then some people use it for occupation because of the hard. If you watch 71 Cloak's last video, he explains it beautifully. If you make your occupation template under occupied territories here, and you had a template of tanks only, light tanks only, the hardness would essentially protect that division, and you'd have less attrition through resistance, because resistance counts as soft attack. It's attacking your resistance template through soft attack, not hard attack. So hardness matters. Okay, as soon as China War queues up here. Okay, so we got 8. This isn't too bad. 10,000 guns for 8 XP. I'll let this war end and then we'll go to China War and we'll see. Urban tiles give negatives to tanks, so of course they are effective against tanks. Jimmy, Civ juggling doesn't work. You can watch 71 Cloaks videos on that. Okay, Biscuit. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Biscuit, about being a YouTuber is that the algorithm is going to favor slightly controversial ideas where there'll be like a 50-50 type situation. So it's a good strategy in terms of YouTube for him. I'm not sure if he's like a full-time YouTuber, but if he finds something that he likes and it's controversial, he should talk about it for the YouTube algorithm, like 100%. Okay, so we got 12 army XP there, and we could send attaché to China. What I'm thinking of is, how do we parse out where the XP is coming from? Let's let Spain War end, and then we could send attaché to China. So that for 10,000, we get 10 army XP. That's like switching a couple regiments around in your template. It's not bad. It's not that great though. And then you use your army XP to build doctrine. Back to the YouTube algorithm thing though, like my strategy early on with my channel was to literally do these OP builds that no one else was doing and to fill a different niche. And then I would get all these comments from MP players being like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it's like, okay, I'm not playing MP, but it was somewhat controversial the way that I played the game at that time. I think that my tactics are much more adopted nowadays. I'm talking about 3 years ago. And I would get a bunch of negative comments. People didn't understand what I was doing or why I was doing it. And I let, you know, what I accomplished talk. I didn't tell you I'm doing this and I'm going to be able to do this. You'd have to watch the video to understand that. So that was my early on tactics. And now basically for YouTube algorithm, I go short. I'll do a 6-minute video, a 10-minute video, a 20-minute video, an hour video. And I'm just trying to hit up all the categories and just give you as much value as possible, because the snowball is kind of started at this point. If there's something controversial, I don't want to shy away from it. Like Spookston's videos on the Panzer IV not being economical, I have a problem with that. I'm just gonna talk about it. I mean, it's no big knock against him. Like using recon in MP games, like you could view that as being controversial because Feedback made a video that he doesn't like recon. But is it that controversial? Feedback doesn't play MP. It's not really that controversial, but you could perceive it as such. You get what I'm saying. Okay, it's been long enough. We've gotten 18 XP from 10,000 guns to Spanish Civil War. I think that that's worth it, because That's almost a focus. If you have a 50% bonus, we're getting close to, I'm sorry, a land doctrine here. I wonder if I sent 20. Okay, let's send an attaché to Japan. Believe it should be 20. It is 20. They have to like us plus 20, whatever that means. Okay, and then this should just be popping off. I'm not going to send guns over here, though. So whatever XP we gain, probably take away 20 or something. I think we also caught a very good Spanish Civil War, because this is grinding quite a bit. Okay, back to chat. Oh, is Panzer Ace the new DLC coming out? Supposedly they had to counter the mollies, they would give you fire extinguishers inside the tank. And then you had access holes that you could extinguish the mollies. See, and then they start milling you political power. Gotta click that before it takes away our attaché. Maneuverability only counts on the offensive, in my estimation, because in World War II they found out you don't drive the tank around. You stay hidden, you attack from concealment. So maneuverability, definitely good on the offensive, kind of useless on the defensive. Top is the most vulnerable area of a tank. Nice. Thus Cass, obviously. Oh, it'd be cool if they had Panzer Aces. For sure. Just like they have aces on your fighter wings. Okay, it looks like this is almost done. I would suppose 10k guns to Spanish Civil War is something around like 25 XP, which is half of a focus if you have a bonus. Attaché to China, we will estimate, we'll take off 25 XP and we'll see what we arrive at. Yeah, I love Rommel's trek into France. Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I'm way behind on chat. Trying to catch up here. I'm not an MP guy. I don't like putting MP in my resistance divisions. I think that it's a waste of a research slot. Dude, it costs probably like 200 frickin' political power if you go attaché to China. That's a big downside. I swear, they keep milling me political power because China protests. Okay, we're at 54. And our guns are supposedly still working in Spain as well. Civs one at a time was also debunked by 71 Cloak. Don't do that. It doesn't work. I'm telling this in absolutes. It does not work. Civ juggling does work to a certain extent. What, you want a one civ or a fraction of a civ? Pay attention to something else. You'll be able to make gains in other areas. So don't civ juggle. Don't do one civ at a time. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I think it's 100% proven now. Predator, you want to know my hours in Hearts of Iron 4? I think it's like 4K or something. I'm not entirely sure, but my hours researching HOI4 aren't going to be on like my Steam account. So if you factor in that, I probably spend 1,000 hours researching HOI4 on top of my gameplay, because a lot of my strategies come from reading up on strategies or talking to people on Discord and stuff. So I don't think it's indicative. My overall hours are not indicative of how much time I put into this game for sure. Because most people are casual, where it is 1-to-1. They're just playing, and that's how many hours they poured into the game. I'm doing like deep strategies, thinking, so yeah, I spend a lot more time than just my gameplay. Tests were done and recon in MP. Didn't give enough of a bonus to attacking forces, so like engineering, it's better on the defense. Yes, no argument there. So they've milled me 75 political power for sending an attaché to Japan. So basically, that waste, I could have my own attaché that's continuously giving me XP. So take 25 off of this. We've gotten 50 XP. We now know that we get 32 XP from everyone except for Rommel from my army command. 32 XP a year. This war's been like a year. So I got 50 XP in a year thereabouts from China War. It's pretty good. But this war is going to end. Todd, you definitely can play both sides. I demonstrated that strategy. It does waste a lot of political power. And like I said, this war will end. And if I have no army command, it's going to hurt real bad when I'm trying to start war. Hey, Ethan, how's it going, man? You send attaché to China, you still get the air XP. You know, I think historically, like, Germany did have attachés to China, didn't it? Pre-World War II? It was sending them equipment. It was selling equipment there. I know that for sure. You could accept that you have to understand why not knowing the details kills you. So Jimmy, the Civ juggling does not work because of some sort of rounding error. So every time you like put the Civ that's partially completed above the one that just got completed, it rounds down the completion time. That's what 71 Cloak has found out. I did testing where I built Civs till, see, there's 100 political power. No, that's negative 50. Dude. This is a super hard sell, guys. But anyway, okay, back to the juggling thing. Basically, in my testing, if you build Civs till 39, it didn't help whatsoever. Where it's going to help is if you're on a minor, like Anavare likes, and you have long build times. Then I think it would help because you come out a Civ or two ahead, which is impactful if you only have like 8 to 15 Civs. Highly impactful. But on a major that's just shotgunning out Civs because they can go war economy pretty early, or they have partial mob early, not worth it whatsoever. The one Civ at a time thing just doesn't work. I don't know how else to say it. It doesn't work logically to me either. They did have an attaché pre-World War II in China? Oh, okay. So it would be historical. And then you get the air XP on top of that. In a multiplayer game, if you have a good Japan, China should be done like when? 39? China should be done right before World War II, I believe. If you have a really good Japan, they could do it in 38, right? Like June 38, if I remember correctly. So essentially in SP, this war could last indefinitely, but in MP, I don't think sending an attaché to Japan is that impactful. Oh, this is a treat. Political power caps at 2,000. I didn't know that. Okay, so far we've got 76 XP over like a time frame of like 2 years. That's a little less impactful. You can always send your attaché later. Look at this. Like 175 or like 150 political power we lost just because we sent the attaché over there. I'm assuming Japan protests if we send an attaché to China, right? The opposition always protests. I don't know how that guy says China. China. Is that how he says it? China. Well, then what I recommend, this is what I'm going to recommend. The 10,000 guns to Spain wasn't bad. It gives you a little bit of XP. What I would recommend is sending an attaché to China, as we talked about, after you filled up your military staff. And that's including everyone except for a chief of the Navy. You don't need that. So you get all these boxes checked off except for the naval stuff as Germany. But you'd fill up everything else. And then if China War is still going on, send an attaché. But you're also going to need to upgrade your conscription law before you do that as well. So it can get a little dicey. So an MP, I would say... yeah, I don't know if it's worth it in MP. Getting one of the military staff members is a more guaranteed form of getting XP. And that way you don't have to rely on the Japan player at all. But we're going to extrapolate this out to 3 years. I think it's like China War starts sometime in July 37, 38, 39. Oh, so that's 2 years. Okay. '34 till 38 when Japan protested. Oh, it's Japan, Manchukuo, and the other puppets, so they're all milling you political power? You tired, Telemaxos? Telemaxos, you know what? I bet you're from Crete. You've got a very Greek name. And you said you live on an island next to the Sahara. He was there till 37? Okay. That's good info. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm with you. I'm with you. So what is this 2 years? 38, 39, and minus 25, you got 102. So basically less than one of your military staff members. The earlier that you get a military high command member, the faster you get more and more XP. You can also translate that into getting more XP, getting like Kesselring or something like that, transitioning that later into Hermann Goering. So you could start off with Kesselring, get the double XP. Did they switch the amount of political power that he was worth? I thought this was like 200. I would definitely do that. Instead of Japan. So there's plenty of things that you could do over here in the under the political screen besides sending an attaché that would net you more or almost equal the amount of XP, in my opinion. You could totally play without attachés. So if you don't go Yalmar, you go Goebbels. That would allow you to go war economy earlier. Therefore, boom. You can get away with not doing attachés, not getting milled political power, and just focusing on your own country. I'm going to say that that is the best way. And I think I've yet to play that way. Have a good night, Telemaxos. Must be like 11 or 12 where you're at over there in the med. It's 8 protests versus 3. Send your attaché to China instead. Oh, so China's got all the allies. At least with a general, you can be sure of a certain amount. Yeah. Roads. Okay, cool. Sounds lovely. I want to head out that way someday. Bucket list trip. Show my graphic settings. Maxwell? Maxwell, thanks for stopping by. I most certainly will. Borderless so that I can come over to OBS and chat. My resolution is pretty high. See if I can get that up. I've got a curved Galaxy monitor from Samsung. So the display resolution is 2560 by 1440. I think I'm streaming at 1080p right now. But it's got everything checked. And the graphic settings should not be the limiting factor for this game for you. And I'll tell you why. The limiting factor is that your CPU is going to have to grind all of the divisions that are in the game. So like, there's a bunch of divisions over here. There's divisions everywhere, right? Your CPU is grinding what each of these divisions and battles is doing. That's the bottleneck, and there's no way to get faster. So if you have a modern PC, you're limited by the programming of Hearts of Iron 4 itself, so don't worry about it. You don't need a very good graphics card either. I've seen no game performance changes after upgrading to my new PC. Maybe a little bit, maybe slightly less lag, but that's it. What are we talking about, Anavare? Germany has good staff officers. Other countries have garbage. Exactly midnight. Oh, wow. Yeah, Jason. Jay, good to see you, man. Yeah. I agree. What I have, GTX 1070 and pretty much running the same performance. There's always that, if you're on the 5-speed, there's always that lag that you'll get. What I notice is on 5-speed, there's a little less lag spikes. So with this brand new, like, I've got a video on my channel you could check out about the specs of my PC. How do you check out specs nowadays on PCs? Anyway, this PC, the PC that I have right now has like 16 gigs of RAM, Intel i5. God, let me look up my Amazon. Okay, so the PC that I have is a Skytech Shadow gaming PC. I believe it's an RTX 3050, 1 terabyte SSD, 16 gigs DDR RAM with an Intel Core i7. I think that's what I'm running. Probably screwed that up. The PC properties. All right, so I'm gonna have to wrap up this stream, but I want to go over what we learned today. Gosh, I kind of want to show you guys my PC stuff, my system settings. Storage, tablet, projecting about. Here we go. There we go, guys. Okay, AMD Ryzen 7 3700 8-core processor, 3.6 gigahertz. So it's an AMD Ryzen 7, 16 gigs of RAM. I'm pretty sure the graphics card was GTX 3060. Why doesn't it say it here? Anyway, it's one of those newer generation graphics cards. Okay. What we learned today. Yeah, they need a new updated version of the Clausewitz engine for sure. Okay, what we learned today. 4-year plan second versus fourth. I'm worried that if you go 4-year plan second, you will get your country turned blue quicker. And therefore, before Barbarossa, in the interwar period between the fall of France and Barbarossa, you will have less optimal building slots if you don't go 4-year plan fourth. So you're delaying 4-year plan, you're delaying the early gains for later gains after you have conquered France. So I'm going to stick with 4-year plan fourth focus as Germany. The civ count was 3 off, okay? I think that you recover that later when you have a lot more civs, if you're building in high infrastructure areas, because you're not blued out. Okay, secondly, Yalmar Shack. The way that I play, I stop building civs and I start building mills in October 37. If you play that way, Yalmar is completely useless because I'm not building refineries till 38, till the end of 38, so that's like almost 39. So Yalmar's off by then. Yalmar is useless. Save yourself 75 political power. Okay. We didn't test guns to China war. We test the attaché to China. It appeared to be somewhat better than, I'll say, I'll rate it as 50 XP a year, whereas it's 32 XP a year for any of the military high commanders besides Rommel, which is going to be 62. So would I rather send an attaché to China or would I rather have Rommel? I'd rather have Rommel because I'm going to get, I believe it's double XP, right? So it's going to be 62 rather than 50. It's going to cost me 200 political power, but attaché to Japan costs me eventually 200 political power. I don't see the point. I don't see the point in it. I'm not going to be sending attaches anywhere anymore. Attaché to Spain versus Goebbels. Goebbels without Yalmar nets 25 political power and stability. Probably about 2 or 3% stability. All right? With no downside. No downside. Because you're not trading off civs. Or if you are, it's a fraction of a civ or 1 civ. Not worth it. I will be going Goebbels, war economy. Not attaché to Spain, war economy, Yalmar. I will not be doing the second of those two. Okay. Lend-Lease XP. 5k guns to Ethiopia gave me 0.12 XP. 10k guns to Spanish Civil War gave me 25 XP. Not bad. If you have guns to spare, I think that if I've got like 300k guns, gosh, send them to wherever. Send them wherever you want. I think that that's worth it. It's not great, but if they're just going to sit in your stockpile, it's worth it. Don't send guns to Ethiopia, though. That's worthless. We didn't get to test infrastructure construction versus just straight up civs. I suspect that just straight up civs would be better. We didn't get to test civ conversions. Maybe we could do that at a later time, but I don't think civ conversions are going to be any good. You're going from a resource that you do have, taking that away into a resource that is useful, then to go back to what you originally had. So I don't think that it's worthwhile. Civ conversions for Germany. However, for Soviet Union, who's not going to have war for years and years and years, I do think that it's worthwhile for Soviet Union to do civ conversions. Mills converting into civs. Okay, attaché to Spain, to tag on to that whole conversation, is 30 XP for the first year, and then the second year was 15. So that's 45 XP. That could just because we had a bad Spanish Civil War. I would rather have a military high command member that gives me a standard 32 XP per year. Rommel being 64. Attaché to Japan. It's already up here. 50 XP per year. We could take this off. But that's it. That's what we learned today. So I'll probably create guide videos out of this. I may not. We might just leave it like this. But yeah, that's all the nuggets I got for you today, boys. I live in California, Maxwell. Yeah, it'd be nice if they got away from Clausewitz. As long as you have open slots, I wouldn't bother with conversion. Okay. Well, you do. You do now with Germany. You got all these 80% slots. Later, Anavare. Good luck with the move, man. I wish the best to you. It's going to be beautiful up there, dude. So try to enjoy. Probably much more like Colorado. And I'm going to be visiting. I want to go to Florida, Colorado, and Alaska. I've only been to Colorado once. Very different place from what I'm used to. Very flat, and then at the same time, very mountainous. It's crazy. Biscuit, join my Discord, man. We can talk some more, man. You had some interesting things to say. I liked it. And give some feedback to feedback. Write him some comments if you disagree with him. Help him out with the YouTube algorithm. It's okay to politely disagree with whatever he's saying. And I'm going to take a look at his recent video on the templates. Maybe I'll do a reaction video to that. Feedback if you're out there. I love you. I think you're doing a good job. Let's do a collaboration. Trying to do as many collaborations with people as possible. Did a collaboration with Cloak and Pigeon. Love those guys too. Yeah, I've got zero coding knowledge. All right, guys. You guys have a good day wherever you're at. Drop me a like. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Please, help me out. I'm a starving YouTuber. Not really, but more on that later. Have a good night, guys.